Hey guys, it's Mr. Robinson, or Alex, whatever you want to call me. As I mentioned in my Star Trek Into Darkness review, I wanted to do a spoiler video because there's a certain twist in the movie that leads into something that I took me out of the movie big time, but I couldn't talk about that because it's part of a big spoiler. Which the spoiler, since this is a spoiler review, is that John Harrison, the character that Benedict Cumberbatch plays, is actually Khan. Probably the most famous Star Trek villain, and the main villain in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, which is the only other Star Trek movie I've seen aside from the J.J. Abrams movies. I also saw the episode Space Seed in prep for that movie, so when watching Into Darkness, as soon as it was revealed that Benedict Cumberbatch was Khan, I was like, okay, this movie is starting to turn into a remake of Space Seed, and as the movie progressed, it's like, and a remake of the last half of Wrath of Khan, because the point that took me out of it was near the end of the movie. As you know, in the movie, the Enterprise loses control and starts crashing towards Earth. Kirk has to go in there and pretty much save the crew by basically getting the power back on, as Spock is still strapped to the captain's chair in prep for a crash landing. But of course, Kirk saves the day, but at the cost of his life. Scotty tells Spock to get down quickly, and basically what we get is a recreation of Spock's death in Wrath of Khan, but with the roles reversed. Spock is now in Kirk's spot, and Kirk is in Spock's spot, dying. Wow, try saying that 3 times fast. And despite being a remake of that ending, it actually worked. I mean, I really felt some emotion, and it was really working. It almost got me crying. Until Zachary Quinto's Spock, out of rage, decided to go, Khan! Which I was like, you ruined that moment. A really great emotional moment with these actors pulling it off perfectly. And you had to put in one line of dialogue that ruined it. Now, it didn't ruin the rest of the movie. I mean, I still stand by my rating that it's worth seeing, but it just ruined that moment. What I mean by the ending being kind of anticlimactic was that Spock and Khan get in a fight until Bones finds out that his blood revived this Tribble. I need Khan back alive. Maybe his blood can revive Kirk. So basically, Uhura goes down to where Khan and Spock are fighting and says, Spock, we have to keep him alive. He's the only way Kirk can survive. This is as Spock is beating up Khan relentlessly, and then, Spock delivers one last punch to his face, blackout, and then we're back to Kirk being revived on a bed. Kirk in a ceremony. We see Khan in a cryotube with his crew members that were cryotubed, and then it just kind of ends after Kirk and the gang are assigned their 5-year voyage, as seen in the original series. So, I mean, again, it's anticlimactic, but it's not bad. The one line of dialogue where Zachary Quinto yells out, Khan! Did ruin that moment, but it didn't ruin the rest of the movie. It's still a really good movie. I've been hearing a lot of complaints from Trekkies that, ooh, this is too much like Star Wars, or Cyrus from Spill.com said, this feels more like a Star Wars movie, and J.J. Abrams is just doing prep for Episode 7. As someone who considers Star Trek at kind of the lower end of his geekdom, it didn't bother me all that much. I mean, the one thing that kind of annoyed me about Star Trek, as much as I love Wrath of Khan, the ship things were all staticky and, just weren't all that impressive. With these new movies, we can finally see, ships swooping and diving, doing all this cool stuff. And I don't know, I always thought Star Trek and Star Wars were kind of similar, with Star Trek being more sci-fi and Star Wars being more fantasy, but I don't know, again, as someone who's not a Trekkie, it didn't bother me all that much, but And I kind of don't understand why people give that criticism. I mean, maybe I don't understand because I'm not a Trekkie. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I just want to talk about some complaints I've heard about the movie that didn't bother me. And of course, I wanted to talk about Khan. So that's it for this first episode of Mr. Robinson's Spoils. I won't be doing this frequently, only when I feel like I need to talk about some details in a movie that involve spoiling the movie. So don't expect this a whole lot unless it's another situation where something bothers me, and the only way to talk about it is spoiling a movie. So this has been Mr. Robinson Spoils. Leave a comment what you thought of this new show. Subscribe. Check out my old channel, AlexGA462. Subscribe to this channel, as I mentioned already. And I will see you guys later. Bye.